Guitar Boss Radio, coming to you now.
To today's podcast, this is Richard Constable and Josh Gillis, guitarboss.co, joshgillis.com. Guitar. So we're going to talk about failures today, and it's not to get down on ourselves. We're not there saying, oh, we've been through the wars and we're a victim. It's not that kind of chat, but it's just to kind of talk about how, even though we've had success, and it's great to talk about success, you talk about your wins. That's really, really important, and we love doing that. It really builds the confidence and all that kind of stuff. But it's good to see that there is a journey and there is stuff going underneath, and there's that great picture of the iceberg where people only see the tip. They might see you now and they're like, oh, you've got this many students, or your business is running at this level and you've got this set up or whatever. But really there's a whole host of stuff going on underneath, and it's taken years to build it up. And yeah, other people have got there quicker, but here we are. You've got to jump in when you can and learn as fast as you can that's possible, because we know there's 20-year-old millionaires out there who have the gift of the gab and the network, and they've got something about them that suddenly makes them irresistible to buy from. But not everyone's like that. So yeah, let's just talk about some failures. Let's think about it. let's be selective. Yeah, there's lots of things I tried. I mean, I remember when I quit my job back in 2017 to go into guitar, because I knew I wanted to do guitar of some sort. And I just remember signing up to every agency and every single website, doing Gumtree ads and getting like no one responding, and just like all these little tests of running some ads, running some flyers. There was one summer where I must have, I was flyering every day basically for 2 months. And one day I did about 15 kilometers, which is like more than half a marathon, I think. No, it's about half a marathon in one day. And, I felt fit, I felt healthy. It was sunny, it was amazing. I was listening to like audiobooks. So it was a great experience. But how many leads did I get from all those months of, maybe a few? So it's like, was it a failure? Probably not. But sometimes you just got to try these things and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, you can see what you could tweak to make it work better, or you could, just try something else. And sometimes you keep whittling something down. It's kind of like, it's like the sculpture David, the famous sculpture of the naked man. They said, they asked the sculptor, how did you come up with this? And he was just said, I just kept taking the pieces away that didn't look like David. And then I'm left with it. And, it's so hard to get something so sculpted so perfectly. So that's kind of how you have to teach your business, run your business. You have to keep chipping away at things that don't work, and, use the things that do work. And so, long story short, the things that have worked is group teaching, things like autopay, Facebook ads, Google ads, organic posting. These types of things and certain posts have been working really, really well. So as soon as you know that, and even just hiring people, I've hired some terrible people who just, haven't lived up to the buck, or I haven't trained them properly. And, through that, I've learned something. And then the next person that comes along, I've tried something different. So there's always like little tweaks and little things you learn, little nuggets as you go along your journey. And, it all builds up to something better. Over to you, Joshy boy.
No, man, 100%. I was just thinking, I started this kind of entrepreneurship journey. I mean, I've always been somewhat of an entrepreneur. I remember when I was in fourth grade of grade school, we were studying rocks and minerals. And I took a rock and I busted it with a bunch of little bitty rocks and sold them because they were, studying rocks and minerals. And I made like $40. So I went and bought like a Game Boy back then Game Boy was big. That's how old I am. I'm getting close to 40, but it's this little headlamp thing that like shone light on your Game Boy because it wasn't even backlit back then. And so um, anyway, man, but I remember in 2018 specifically, I remember the year, it was August of 2018. I saw this ad from an affiliate marketing dude, and I was like, man, running ads in the background for products I don't even have to deal with. I just point people in that direction and shave off a little bit. This makes so much sense. So I paid like, I don't know, a few grand for this course.
Yeah.
And I just sold the coffee shop. I used to own a coffee shop, and I just sold. I had a little extra money, and I was like, I think this could be the next thing where I don't have to like be the front man. I was tired of being. I want to be the behind the scenes. I want to be the affiliate guy. So did that, and it just didn't work. I didn't realize how tough it was, how much money you have to like fork out for advertising and traffic. I didn't understand how all that worked, and so kind of fizzled down. And then I decided, and I was teaching at the time like guitar lessons part time. I only had like 3, maybe 4 students, just for some extra cash every week, like 300 or 400, maybe $500 a month. And well, then I decided, you know what, I can teach what I'm doing here to someone else. So I made up this little thing called the Guitar Teacher Guide, where I was like, I can teach other part-time guys that just have a guitar, that know how to play. They just want to teach a few students to earn a few little extra income. So I kind of made it around that and spent hundreds of dollars making these awesome looking PDFs and thought through all these lesson plans and this kind of stuff. And then it just never took off. I'm like, in my mind, I'm seeing millions of colors, like in my mind. And then like not one person, like actually only had 2 sales for like $47 to get this thing. And it never panned out. But, and then after that, I tried. All right, so that was failure 2 from 2018. And then I wouldn't say this. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't really look at them as failures. Then I tried drop shipping. That's where I met you, was trying drop shipping stuff. Had a little success, sold some stuff, but it wasn't long term, I guess, for me, or I don't know, for whatever reason, just didn't take and stick with me. So then I tried agency work for realtors, and so I would get leads for realtors and stuff. And so all this time, I had been learning the ins and outs of Facebook ads and all this digital marketing stuff, and tracking links and all this behind the scenes stuff. And then I got 2 clients. I had one consistent one at like $500 a month. But it was just a buddy. I was supposed to be charging like, $2,000 a month for this kind of stuff, but I was just too timid, I guess. I don't know whatever it was. Finally, I wasn't getting him the results that he needed. I was getting leads, but they were bad leads. And so understandably, we kind of ended that. And then all along, I've been doing guitar lessons, not noticing that was like the consistent thing that I was good at. So that's when I decided this past January to jump into guitar full time. And like now I've got 4 or 5 years of just back end knowledge that I've accumulated, investing in myself to do all these skills that kind of leads to where we are now with this. And that's what's so exciting, because now I've got all this head knowledge in my mind. I know how things work on the back end and how we can help more people with what we know in the guitar space specifically, which is the space I love anyway. And so all those failures lead to success. It's kind of like failing, you just fail forward, right? So
exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. I heard recently there's no such thing as failure. It's just the stepping stone to the next step.
That's right.
That's the thing. It's not that. I think failure is when you give up. I think that's the true definition of failure, when you just absolutely give up. But like you said a few weeks ago, just like, if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, then you're still trying to figure it out, then it's tricky. And I've loved teaching guitar. What I don't enjoy as much is trying to build the business around it, because that's, I like the interaction with students. I like playing the guitar and showing people new things and impacting people in that way. But, the back end stuff is, is a different skill set.
Yeah, that's where the real work is, man. The office work.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of teachers struggle. And now I've gained all these skills with yourself. That's why we want to help people. Right, we'll wrap this up. Thanks for your time today, Joshy. And we look forward to hearing you in the next one.
All right, adios.
Adios, guitarboss.co. Peace out.